We're going to talk about drug cheating once again. It's going to be a very short video. So I did not watch the Oscar Valdez fight at all, hosted by Top Rank. Barbarian was saying a bunch of rubbish, which I don't agree with. He was saying that, the commissions had to abide by the legal rules of WADA. And so the fight had to go on. And he did not comment on the WBC, the fact that WBC could have stripped Valdez and suspended him. Or I don't know if this WBC could suspend it, but they could literally have removed the title from him because Valdez signed an agreement with VADA. And VADA, in and out of competition, you're not supposed to be using prohibited substances. And the phentermine that he used is a prohibited substance that cannot be found in tea. The nonsense that Aaron has been talking about and his lawyer. So, what is our stance on this? We should have a zero tolerance policy as boxing fans to anyone caught dirty using prohibited substances. So if VADA or any other PED testing, body, anti-doping agency, catches anyone, the A and B samples dirty, that person should be suspended immediately. Okay? And, it's usually the commissions that do that suspend fighters. But in terms of the sanctioning body, they should put in place immediate removal of that person from the rankings and also suspension of them. I was listening to Dan Rafael try to make excuses for what the public is truly seeing. They're seeing through this. I would listen to Stephen Bredman Edwards, on the Boxing Boys. Shout out to the Boxing Boys. And I've been listening to very recently Victor Conte's interview with Lance Pugmire and Sean Cezelle. I've been listening to the comments by VADA president. I've been listening to and watching and getting feedback on several different perspectives from not only the athletes and the fighters, but also from people in the business. And everyone seems to know that this thing needs to be cracked down on. I also I heard that in the Valdez fight, it seemed to have been either a close fight or something. And his opponent, some are saying, actually won that fight. Some are saying it was a close fight. But one of the judges' scorecards had it wide, as usual, again, showing the corruption in boxing. And we know it's clearly corrupt. We also know that Oscar Valdez, he's not just using that one thing that he gets caught with, which Victor Conte says, the amounts shows that he was abusing that substance. And if he's abusing that substance, he has to be aware of it. He's saying, somebody slipped it into his system. But how you can slip something into your system? You have to build trust with somebody for them to slip something into your system. So I don't buy that 1 second. I think Oscar Valdez is dirty. I think he knowingly took that drug, which is not an over-the-counter drug. You can't just get that. So you have to get a prescription to get that drug. So I don't believe that. I think he was using it in his system amongst with a cocktail of other substances. Now, Victor Conte, he and by the way, this is a weight loss drug as well as a stimulant. Okay. Now, clenbuterol, which Canelo used, was also a weight loss drug. They were saying the amounts, and he used hair follicle samples and stuff like that. But what I would say is, and they're saying it's commensurate with tainted meat, but he's staying consistent though. He and his lab and he and his gym are staying consistent with people in that gym. Now, I think this is the fourth person from that gym who has been affiliated with some sort of drug doping. Luis Neri, who is in the gym now, he was associated with some drug doping in 2017. He wasn't with the gym at the time. the fact that he's in that gym is interesting. And then we have Canelo, and then we have Oscar Valdez, and then we had a third person, a fourth person, I forgot the guy's name, who was also, for a period of time, trained under the Reynosos, and again, caught dirty. So I'm just saying, yes, they're not hardcore steroids necessarily. They're not, but they can be masking agents. They can be other things used in a cocktail of things. And that one thing in the cocktail comes up. It's kind of like, how good are you at concealing doping? And so you find the guys like with Vada's being able to detect some of these things. And this is not some fly-by-night sort of thing where this guy just accidentally picks up. I don't believe in that. These guys are intentional. They know what they put in their bodies. They're consummate professionals. I don't believe that for 1 second they unknowingly do what they do. And that's why we as fans need to, once one of them pops above the radar, Smooth Criminal says, WBC don't care. They love their cheaters. It's clear. I mean, WBC now has a history of Franchon Cruz, the woman who beat her, Jimenez. They wanted to defend her and her title and stuff, and she turned up dirty, and had to the title had to be given back to Cruz. Luis Neri was another WBC champion, Canelo, and then now Oscar Valdez. The WBC has had, and there's another one, I can't remember who it is, 5 people under the WBC, and WBC has been covering for these people, okay? And it's horrible, and we as fans and as the boxing community need to say no. We're not gonna. And we need to take steps and measures to turn this back. I was just watching Showbiz the Adult, and Showbiz the Adult was saying that this is not doing anything for boxing brand. This is not doing anything to better boxing. This is just another blow on boxing. Every time there's a controversy, every time there's a disputable something, it only hurts boxing. And these are the things that hurt boxing. The sport is great. The fights are great. The performances are great. The athletes are great. But we can't just leave it in the athletes' hands, to be honest. We have to give them incentive to be honest sometimes, because some people don't have moral backings. And of course, boxing is a money-making business, but you're not going to make a lot of money if you keep on tearing down your brand and making it something where the consumer can't trust the quality of the brand. What I mean by that is the WBC was heralded as such a wonderful title. It was something that everybody desired to have. And under Mauricio Suleiman, we've been seeing a lot of buffoonery and clownery. First it was a franchise title, then it was the clenbuterol issue, which I was defending Canelo at the time, even though Victor Conte clears him of the clenbuterol thing, because Canelo went beyond himself to get cleared from the clenbuterol issue, okay? He did. But nonetheless, it's a strike against him. And I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at Reynoso's gym. You got guys like Ryan Garcia in there. You got Frank Sanchez in there. And you got to watch all these guys Koki, like, are these guys clean? Are they really clean? And then when you look at Oscar Valdez's last performance, where he, was very, very exciting and, knocked out Miguel Berchelt, now we have to ask ourselves, as you can see from my title poster, you have to ask yourself, wait a minute, hold a second. Is Miguel was Oscar Valdez clean when he faced Miguel Berchelt? And what else was in the system? Because now trust is out the window, and the way how Oscar Valdez is reacting and behaving to this, and then his performance, I saw pictures of his performance, and his face looked terrible. He didn't look as if he was in a fight. The other guy's face was clean, and all of these things, and then now this controversy. I'm not going to watch that fight. I'm never going to watch that fight. I'm not going to give these people any kind of money. I'm not supporting anybody who dopes. He's a cheater. He's a doper. And that's what he'll be known as. And no matter how all the kind of technicalities they try to do in fight competition. In fight competition, my ass, man. Come on now. That's a stimulant. That's something that killed somebody in the 1960s, a cyclist who was abusing it to win all these great tours. And he was doing exceptionally well. Why is he doing exceptionally well? Because he's abusing a drug, amphetamine. And the effects of the amphetamine, remember, if you're using this amphetamine in training, okay, sometimes you ramp up the dose to a very high amount, okay, and you're using this in training, you're getting the benefits, whether it's fatal to you or not, whether it's draining your system, whether it's weakening you or not, you're getting the benefits of this thing, okay, and that lasts because you're training so hard. You heard Canelo say, "We work real hard." Yeah, but what are you using to work real hard? That's the question. Are you using questionable means to work hard? The ends don't justify the means. And so that's why I'm looking at Canelo totally different right now. And I think that the momentum has changed. Everybody's thinking, Canelo versus Caleb Plant, you know, um, what's going to happen here because the WBC is involved. And in addition, a lot of people want Caleb Plant to beat Canelo's ass. And quite frankly, I'm not into those narratives. I'm still, I'm not just looking at it like, oh, Canelo needs to get his ass beat. I don't believe in that. But the point is that when we look at how this thing is panning out and how it's shaping up, it really leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. You wonder about Canelo. You wonder about that gym. You wonder about what are they getting away with? What are they getting by the doping organizations with? You saw Dillian White. He got by VADA, and UCAD picked up something. You know what I'm saying? And even then, we don't know. Because these guys now they're doping on the sly and they're getting past systems. And of course, VADA and USADA and so on, they're making it more difficult for them to get by. But they probably like years ahead of these systems. And I remember talking with Tommy Temper about this, and he was talking about how easy it is to use, EPO, and EPO is very hard to detect. And some other systems they put in place, old school systems to detect, and then they use these diuretics and they use all these masking agents to try and mask the stuff. So when you think Oscar Valdez was just using Terramine, he might be using a cocktail of other things, and it just so happened Terramine showed up. You know what I'm saying? Because they're using micro amounts of it, daily. So I'm just saying that, and how they cycle and everything. So I'm just saying, and out of competition cycling and all of that. That's why VADA is in competition, out of competition. And VADA's regulations and laws, they're no longer just abiding by WADA rules anymore. VADA is under its own rules to make it even more stringent and much more harder in testing. So that's why when Bob Arum says, the legal framework for this, and I'm like, no, y'all not just going under WADA. Okay, maybe the boxing, the boxing, what the hell they call it, the State Athletic Association, in Phoenix, Arizona, may be under WADA, but VADA is under VADA, and that's a legal contract you also sign with VADA when you enroll in the WBC VADA boxing program, which is why the WBC should have been taking action under the WADA guidelines. But what do? They give him a tap on the wrist, community service. So they have arbitrary. They have no rules or laws. The WBC is without rules or laws. That's why they can change the franchise championship requirements. That's why they can be severe on certain fighters, and on other fighters they're not severe for the very same thing. And this is the nonsense that's going on with the WBC. Mercy Suleiman's not really doing a good job with the WBC like his father was doing. He's tearing down the WBC. He's only trying to make money off of it. He's very, very biased towards Mexican fighters, and it's showing. And now I can categorically say these statements. No matter what Dan Rafael or any of these other guys say. The truth of the matter is that, whether you say in-fight competition or in competition or whatever, I think in competition should begin with the training camps, right? It's a good thing that VADA is testing all year round, and I think USADA was going to start taking up that. But VADA is testing all year round, in competition and out of competition. And there's no such thing as an in-competition drug or out-of-competition drug, because those drugs have cumulative effects on people. Right? If you're training and cheating while you're losing weight, and you still have the strength and the energy and everything, what happens on fight night, even though you don't have the drug in your system at that point in time, is your endurance and everything is so much higher. So I just don't believe in it. I was looking at Showbiz the Adult as well, and he was saying the same thing. And he's trying to say that Valdez won the fight. I really don't know. I don't care. I didn't watch the fight. And the fact that there's controversy around the fight just again shows the partialism and the nepotism of this boxing world. That's what turns people off from boxing. When a guy can't get a fair shake, when a guy can't get a fair verdict from judges, right? One judge had 117, 111. I was just watching a fight recently between Rojas and a Chinese dude. And the Chinese dude won the fight, and Rojas was doing all the good work. He was walking down the fighter. He was landing the more effective punches. And he lost the fight. And the margin, everybody was saying it was a close fight and whatever, and Rose had the edge. They had it wide, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" It was a unanimous decision wide. What the hell's going on with boxing? You know, and people say, "Well, what you need, you shouldn't criticize the fans." Because and say they don't know what the hell they're watching inside about. No, but the truth is, as Roger Mayweather said, most people don't know shit about boxing. But when everybody can agree that it's a robbery, when everybody can agree, Rojas didn't get a fair shake on this. Everybody's saying the same thing. When everybody can see it, even the casual fans could see Rojas was winning the fight. When you got that, when everybody's on the same page, and still everybody's seeing it as a robbery, that's a bad thing. It's a bad look for boxing. It's a bad look for boxing. I'm just saying. This is what hurts the sport of boxing, right? And yeah, okay, sometimes you don't leave it in the judge's hands. You can knock the guy out. But if you're not a knockout artist, if you're not one of those guys who you got to break a fighter down, you got to wear a fighter down to get him out of there, right? I mean, you got a lot stacked against you. Because if you get to a decision, there are judges that seem to be in promoters' hands or paid by promoters. There's media outlets that seem to be, aligned with certain promoters. There's sanctioning bodies that seem to be aligned with certain promoters because it's Top Rank and because it's Bob Arum. Okay, and that's another thing. Top Rank and Bob Arum have a history of fighters coming to them or being with them who are testing dirty repeatedly. Top Rank you see that with Top Rank. Repeatedly. And Bob Arum always has the dumbest ass comments to make. And everybody just listens to Bob Arum and nobody questions Bob Arum. You know what I'm saying? But Bob Arum is a big problem with boxing. He's a big problem with boxing because he keeps the old school mentality going on with boxing, the old school mentality of how a promoter promotes. And he keeps people under lock and key, and people who should really be thriving and doing well and really getting the exposure they need to get are not getting the exposure under Bob Arum. He is back into the plantation mentality sort of promoter attitude. And maybe Todd Above has a different attitude, but Bob Arum, man, he suck. Like, he's so outdated. Like I said, this dude needs to just get out of boxing. You know what I mean? Because he's not doing anything to help boxing. He's always an impediment, right? He's the impediment for Sean Porter versus Terrence Crawford negotiations. He's just a big old fat impediment. If he could stall it and keep it, going on and on and on and not happening, he would do it. That's Bob Arum. And I don't know what is his beef with Terrence Crawford, why he doesn't want Terrence Crawford facing the best people. Then he's going to say, I heard Bob Arum say how Terrence Crawford is the one now that they have to hold on to see if he could keep the fight. Come on, man. Bob Arum, shut up. Terrence Crawford wants fights. I don't believe Terrence Crawford is not the guy that's the one the fights. You're making Terrence Crawford. It's like Bob Arum has this evil sort of vindictive nature against certain black fighters, man. I don't know what's his deal. What did Terrence Crawford do him? I don't know. But what I do know is Terrence Crawford's getting a hard time. Okay, Teofimo Lopez is starting to get a hard time with Bob Arum as well. But Teofimo Lopez, they got their little thing they're working out. But Teofimo Lopez, man, but Bob Arum, he promote Lomachenko. You see Bob Arum deep in Lomachenko's ass. You know what I'm saying? Bob Arum, have nothing bad to say about Lomachenko. He got nothing bad to say about, and it be overhyping Lomachenko. You look at certain fighters, Bob Arum is all about defending them and treating them good and talking about how good a promoter he is when he sucks. Okay? Tyson Fury never had nothing bad to say about Tyson Fury either. Okay? That's Bob Arum. Okay? I'm about to be straight with you guys, man. Now, let me make it abundantly clear, though, that that's not the point here. The point here is doping. And we cannot allow... If one fighter gets caught doping, we need to be strict and serious and bring consequences, some teeth and action behind a boxer who is doping. If the WBC had stripped Valdez of getting his chance with the title, say no, you're gonna get stripped. You strip of the belt, and they fight for the vacant title or something, that would be different. Because he went into that fight with an advantage over his opponent. And I heard what's his name? I heard Showbiz the Adult saying how You know, the other guy was big as hell. I really couldn't care less. He made the weight, so that's totally irrelevant. The relevant part is, well, both of them VADA tested, and if this guy was VADA tested, he passed all his VADA tests, then it's all good. It doesn't matter how big he is. Okay, that has nothing to do with whether he won or lost the fight. If he could make the 130-pound limit, it doesn't matter if he come in at 160 pounds. There's no weight limit cap for that weight class unless you're fighting with the IBF, which the IBF again has. I gotta give it to the IBF. The IBF, it allows their contenders to fight. They have their mandatories. You can't blow up more than 10 pounds from the maximum weight, official weight. You know, IBF got some pretty decent rules. And all I'm saying is that if you have a problem with that, then put a cap on how much a fighter can put on weight. 15 pounds over the, the 130-pound limit or whatever. Put a cap on it. But other than that, you can't do nothing if there ain't no rules in place for that. You know what I'm saying? So by and large, all I'm saying is the WBC, and I think Dan Raphael agrees with me on this, the WBC needs to put laws in place to deal with, not put laws, they need to enact. They need to have some teeth behind what they're saying, and you can't be arbitrarily treating different fighters differently. And so I really think that the WBC dropped the ball on this one. This fight should have never happened to start with. A dude who has PEDs in the system when he was training means that affected his training, which means he's got an advantage over the other fighter who didn't have that opportunity. It wasn't an equal playing field. But okay, so both fighters, they get their purse, whatever. But you need to deprive that fighter who cheating. You have to deprive him of something. And don't tell me about no damn community service. That's bullshit. Tell me about he's getting penalized. And all of us are watching because everybody's watching now. Everybody's watching now. Everybody's watching now. All those boxes. Oh, he get away with that? Because not everybody got morality. Not everybody got standards. Not everybody want to do it clean and straight. And if they can find out that they can get away with shit, they will try. People will try. More and more of them will try. And they're going to find out, they're going to seek out the Reynosos in there to find out what they use on the D-Lo. That's all I'm going to say. Because that's an advertisement for PED use. And that's just a bad look on boxing right now. Because why the hell do you even have a anti-doping policy? Why do you even have a voluntary anti-doping program? Okay. Anyway, that's 22 minutes in. I'm what you need. I meant for this to be short, but it wasn't. I think this is a big deal. And I remember talking to Tommy Temper. I never said none of these elite athletes are clean. I can't vouch for no elite athlete, but from the evidence I got, there's certain athletes I can defend. But then when I see the reoccurrence of certain things happening too close to home, I question the athletes and I question their cleanliness. Now, I know Canelo was cleared of clenbuterol by using the hair follicle test. So I know he was cleared of it. And Victor Conte actually gave him, complimented him on that. But nonetheless, it's still, I feel very sketchy about the whole situation because we know that phentermine is not something you just get. It's not something that you just get in a tea or a drink or something. It ain't going to be no phentermine in none of those things. That's something you had to acquire. And you got to acquire it from a special source. And it's not something that's offered in America to start with. So they had to have gotten it in Mexico. And that had to be shipped across, especially. There's no way in hell Oscar Valdez didn't know about this. Because I don't think any of his trainers, he probably has his own chef. He has his own people. So there's no way this dude didn't know about this. Okay? And it leads us to wonder, is Jim, and is it coincidence that guys that are in the Reynoso's gym, they get caught dirty? That's why I'm trying to ask it, because none of this is making sense. And then the other thing about it is, why didn't the WBC ask for the tea or whatever he said he was using? Because there is no tea for you using. And the amounts, that showed up on the VADA test showed that this dude was killing it with this thing. He was using it in excess. And it's not that he wasn't using it, because they were showing the levels of this drug in his system Even with the negatives, it was above a certain amount. So there was a certain amount of it in the system. Maybe on that day, it just wasn't controlled properly or whatever. But I'm going to say this. That dude is dirty. He had A and B samples. He cheated. And we need to get to that was cheating. I think he intentionally cheated. I don't care what anybody else say. I'm going to say it like that. You can't be doing, and anybody making these excuses, even the tainted meat thing. I'm not even buying tainted meat no more. When everybody in boxing, the guys in boxing world, they're like, oh yeah, right, tainted meat. I get why they're so, narcissistic, or should I say, they're very sarcastic about it, because they realize, and this is something really serious. They realize that this boxing thing, people are literally and intentionally using things. Now, it's one thing you're using something that's natural and it boosts you, whatever, or you're using vitamins, which vitamins is very good. If you can get intravenous injections of vitamin saline, they treat illnesses and all of that things, vitamin B's, vitamin C's, But it's another thing when you are cheating, when you're taking banned substances. And why would you take a banned substance? The substance, phentermine, is a substance that actually harms you, and you can get a heart attack. You can get a stroke from it. I mean, why would you use that? Why can't you just use a natural equivalent that does some similar things that you can get in your food and your nutrition? Anyways, people, this is what I got. I'm what you need. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace to everybody out there. So I just say my piece on this. We need to stand up against this stuff, and I've seen it time and time again. We got a lot of drug cheats out there now. We had Jarrell Miller. He cheated. He's actually got punished for it. He shouldn't even be in the sport anymore. We got Povetkin. He's still in the sport. That motherfucker cheated plenty times. We had the kid that faced was supposed to face Povetkin. I've seen him. Bermain Stavern, he cheated, right? How many of these guys be cheating, man? These top level guys, and usually in the heavyweights, but still, nonetheless, they cheating, right? You're cheating. Why do you got to cheat? You look at Tyson Fury, supposedly the number one heavyweight in the world, cheated. Why are you cheating? Why are you cheating? Okay? That's what I never quite understood. Why do you need these extra things to cheat? Oh, you can't be elite unless you cheat. I'm like, what's that? You look at guys like Paulie who did it the right way. Didn't cheat. What message you sending to those guys? Anyways, man. That's all I got for now. I'm what you need. Peace. I'm out.